Hey, sports fans, what's happening? How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. Welcome. This is the IndoctriNATION. I am David Snedeker. I will be your host for the next 12 hours. Welcome, one and all. I wish I were kidding. No. We're going to try to keep it somewhat short tonight. Famous last words, my friends. As you know, we often go a little bit long. And I want to hold on. I want to show you something new that I just did. And for some reason, the comments are not loading in front of me. That's very odd. Since I did, that's why. Okay, there you go. So that's a new thing that I just did, and I thought we might have some fun with tonight. So you can see some of your chat, but I'll go back and forth with that. But welcome, one and all. How is everybody? I hope you're having a great Tuesday. I am looking forward to the show. We are going to have Todd and Cindy come on a little earlier tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. Just because we're going to tone down some of the news so that we can shorten this a little bit. It's difficult to share this Truthcast because it's so long, right? And one of the major reasons why we're not reaching a broader audience is primarily because of the length of the show. So short show, Ron. I know. I've said that a few hundred times. So good to see you all. Cool to see your chat coming up here in front of me. And so I'm going to try to get through things a little bit quicker. I just want to do a little recap of last night. I wanted to basically just connect with, if you didn't see last night's show, I recommend it. And certainly the part where I called out the late night talk show hosts and the sports celebrities, the pro sports players, who are not standing up against this tyranny or not standing up against this jab and actually doing their part to actually perpetuate it and harm those who look up to these athletes. My hats off to people like Aaron Rodgers and Enes Kanter, the Turkish basketball player in the NBA. That are standing up for what's right. Enes Kanter is also standing up for the persecution that's happening in China. And LAUSD pushed their vaccine mandate to September of 2022. LAUSD, that's the Los Angeles Unified School District. Thank you, King Fred I. For that, because I had not heard that. And if you wouldn't mind sending me an article on that, that would be great. Margaret Burgess, good to see you. Hey, Dave and all the super duper Sneds here. Good to see everybody. But I basically called them out, and I would ask you, I got a little angry and I cussed a little bit last night. How would you have me talk to these people? That's really the question I have is, how would you have me talk to people that literally wake up in a multi-$1,000 bed in a multi-million-dollar home, get in a six-figure sports car or luxury automobile, or are driven, or in the case when Kobe was alive, flown by helicopter to practices and to games, have assistants and people that do things for them. They don't have to go shopping. They have people that do that. And how would you have me speak to these people who have, in exchange for that money, they actually sell out their fellow human beings. Lorna, loved yesterday's show. Thank you, Dave. You're welcome, Lorna. Thank you. And how do I mean they've sold them out? They have sold them out because they are not standing up for truth. They're not standing up for what's right. They're not standing up for humanity, because they're a part of the deceit. They're a part of the deception that we see day in and day out by the medical mafia, the pharmacological mafia, which is basically a bunch of pimps for the pharmaceutical companies. And these pimps are, groups like our government agencies, which run on our money. These agencies such as NAIDS, the NIH, the CDC, that we are funding. And so, thank you, Q Joe. Yeah, no, I ain't changing for nobody. So just trust me. I'm just posing this hypothetical question. I'm my own man. I'm not going to change for anybody, which is also why I won't change for money. If somebody came along and offered me, a Spotify deal or some kind of deal, but I was censored as to what I could say or do, I would send them packing. So you won't see any change out of me other than honestly trying to shorten the show for my own health benefit, for the health and well-being of Todd and Cindy, for the health and well-being of you all, and the ability to share this out to more people. But in terms of the way I say things and how I say them, and by the way, thank you all for those of you who participate, because that was fun to watch with you. So with this in mind, how would you have me speak to people that have sold their soul to the devil, have sold their soul to the devil? Because anytime that you sell out your fellow man and woman for money, you are selling your soul. And so if you've done that and you are part of this machine that is going after our children, fuck you too. Because you are not worthy of my time, my energy, my efforts, other than pointing out your hypocrisy, pointing out your tragedy, your tragic life, okay, to my audience, and being willing to call you out on that. So that's what this is all about. It's about calling out humanity for their betrayal of humanity. And that's what this is all about, is that we have awakened to a reality that we have been lied to. And we've been lied to in a great many ways. And we're continuing to be lied to every single day. And so those who are perpetuating this, not going to tolerate it anymore. Not going to tolerate it. And so this world is changing. And we are a part of that change. And in order to be a part of that change, we have to bring the awareness, and we have to bring the accountability to our fellow man to stand up and do what they must do. And that is stand in matters of principle. They're coming after our children. And these athletes that we're all watching, not all of us, because many of you like me are done with these people, they're going and getting jabbed. And every time they do, they're telling these young children that it's okay, that it's safe. It's not. It's not even close to being safe. It's not even close to being an option for a child that doesn't seriously threaten their life. And you're going to do that so that you can drive a Rolls Royce? You're going to do that so that you can get a sneaker contract that uses slave labor in China to manufacture? You're going to back the CCP because there's $100 million worth of business in China, and if you piss off the CCP, you're not going to see that money? NBA? You see, we are entering a new paradigm, a paradigm of accountability, a paradigm of truth, a paradigm of respect for one another and humanity in general. And there's going to be people that we look back on and say they weren't a part of this with us. They weren't a part of this. They took advantage of this situation, or they ignored this situation, this revolution. And they're not going to be in our future. They're not going to be in our future. And they're not going to have an easy life ahead of them, because we will hold them accountable. That's why it's so important to get this word out to multiple people, so that it can get in front of these NBA players, these National Hockey League players, these baseball players, these NFL players, so that they understand that their complicity is harming humanity. Because, see, with greatness comes responsibility. And I'm not saying I'm great, but what I'm getting at is that when I have an audience in front of me, I have a responsibility to come to you with what I have researched to be truth. And that is great, because I'm able to reach so many people. And with that greatness comes responsibility. With the greatness of these athletes being able to do things that most humans cannot do comes responsibility. And that responsibility must be outside of the basketball court and the athletic field and the diamond. And you may say, well, one of the reasons I don't watch these people is because they did step outside of that line and speak out when there was all this woke politics going on in 2020. Well, yes, I'm saying step outside, but know what the fuck you're talking about. Don't be an idiot. Don't be ignorant. Okay? And the surest way To be ignorant in this day and age is to actually believe that what you are hearing, seeing, and reading on mainstream media, the indoctrination, is actually truth. It is not. It is not even close. It is actually a manufactured propaganda, the indoctrination. The reason why I call this show The Indoctrination is because I want to point out that if you can see that this is the indoctrination, every aspect of it, that you awaken to the fact that you can't trust any of it, and you will seek your information elsewhere. Now, the mainstream media has already figured out, the cabal has already figured out that many of you, many of us, already discount CNN, Fox, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, Newsweek, Time Magazine, all garbage propaganda. And so they know that they've lost us. So what do? Look at the truth movement. Look at what people are focused on in the truth movement. Look at the lies you've been told. Look at the hopium that you've been sold. Look at what people are doing. Listen very carefully, and you will find the right people to listen to, the right people to watch, the right people to read. See, it's not about finding the right person, okay? And just like I will tell my players, the children that I coach on Sunday mornings, you see, it's not about finding the right coach. It's about finding that inner compass that gives you, that has a feedback loop in it, that is able to process different bits of information and find out where they're coming from and determine whether or not that's good information for you. If a player, one of my players, is playing in a basketball game, and the guy he's playing against that he's trying to beat is trying to tell him how to shoot, that may not be the right guy to listen to in that particular moment. Or the other coach, because there's a conflict of interest there. So the key is finding out cui bono, who benefits from me coming into your room, your theater, your show, and supporting your particular show. Who benefits from me, your presence in their studio? But most importantly, do you benefit? How are you benefiting from the information that you're gathering? Because one of the biggest problems right now is that the cabal has already figured out, as I've said, that they've lost you with mainstream media. They already know that. They already know they've lost more than half of the population with mainstream media. All they have to do is get their weekly, daily, monthly numbers that they have sent to them that show the decline in viewership of all of their shows, the decline in readership for their magazines and their newspapers. You see, they get those numbers every single day. And so they have to figure out how to reach half the population in a way that serves the cabal. So how do they do that? They do it with what's called controlled opposition. And in this new worldwide awakening, the controlled opposition must be outside the mainstream media. And so what you're seeing with this controlled opposition is that they're finding ways to grab your attention because they know that you're seeking information and seeking truth because you've realized you've been lied to by nearly every piece, every outlet, every piece of propaganda information that you've been downloading your entire life. And so what's popping up is opportunists that see an opportunity to take advantage of your desire for new information, and the cabal who know what you're looking for, and so they give you bits of pieces of information. And there are many layers to it. What was one thing that I looked into today was there are some people that are calling out some people in the truth movement, and calling them out and saying, don't trust them. But then they're also throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You see, we use Q here. We use the Q drops, right? But all those people that went to Dallas and gave the movement a horrible reputation because of the people who led that movement. Now there are people that are criticizing those people, but then they're ready to throw out anybody that has anything to do with Q. And that in itself is either an ignorance, because the people that don't understand that whether or not Q is a psyop, it's a psyop, no question about it. The Q 5,000 Q drops are an absolute psychological operation. The question remains, is it well-intentioned from a valuable source that could help and is making strides to better this planet, or is it from a ill-intentioned people that want to create this controlled opposition? And so what you need to look at is, when you're looking at this situation, is if it was the latter, if it was from an ill-intentioned source, okay, why would the rest of the ill-intentioned media be working so hard to discredit it? Okay, right? And so it's the people that have that maybe have good intentions or are paid opposition, controlled opposition, that come out and use Q and then bastardize Q by doing ridiculous things in the name of Q. And that, again, is literally from the opposition, putting them on the side of goodness or this facade that they're creating. And so that's why it's so important. And if there's anything I want you to get out of my shows is the ability to discern every situation, to strengthen your compass of which direction you should go by strengthening your feedback loop and your information processing mechanism. Learn to call out bullshit. Learn to look, you've already learned to look at late night television and see these jerk-offs that pretend to be comedians. They could be comedians, but they're not. At the moment you sell out, the moment you use the ancient method of comedy to manipulate the masses, you've lost any ability to be humorous, because there's no integrity in that comedy. So you've already started to figure out, like, oh, now I see what he's doing there. He's having Biden on, and he's just talking about things that make Biden look good. And if he challenges him at all, it's only going to be a little thing that he jokes around about. I see how they do that. I see the mainstream media and how they only show how many new cases of COVID. And so they've got to push the jab, and none of it has any stories about side effects or possible side effects or other ways to combat this virus. See, you're starting to get this. Many of you are way beyond this, right? But for those of you that are starting to get this now, we've got to add those same disciplines to people and situations outside of the mainstream media. YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, Twitter, all these. Discernment is what is called for here. And our humanity is dependent on that discernment that you and I develop. We don't have time for bullshit. We don't have time for mistakes. We must be discerning about where we're getting our information and how we're processing that information, and so that we don't step on any landmines. That's why this is so important right now. It is absolutely vital that we get this, and that we move forward together as a community and are able to call out the bullshit and call out the areas in which we are being manipulated like we used to be. See, just moving from one pasture to another is not the answer if we're still sheep, right? So very, very important, and so important to really, really hold humanity accountable for the things that are happening right now, because they're coming for our children. They've already taken our businesses. They've already taken our freedoms. They've already taken our face. They've already taken our bodies, many of us. They've already done all that. And then people stopped taking the jab. And so they kept lowering the ages. Why? Because they needed to get the rest of humanity. And once they sold the adults on it, then they knew they could get the kids. And we got to be smarter than this. We've got to be smarter than we ever have in the history of humanity. Right now, we must increase our IQ and our intelligence. We must stop drinking fluoridated water. Get reverse osmosis. I go and I fill up 5-gallon jugs at those machines that do the reverse osmosis process. I bring it home and I put 5 pinches of sea salt in the reverse osmosis water. Before I do that, I take out some of that water and I mix with my silver water that I get from Jim and Jasmine, okay, that I, swish in my mouth to get rid of bacteria in my mouth, and I swallow and spray in my eyes and my nose and my ears and my mouth when I'm out in the world and in front of germs, or if I feel the sniffles coming on. So I take the water out first, but then the water that we're going to drink, I put in 5 pinches of sea salt. You can put in, sea minerals. You can put in, but basically, reverse osmosis water, you have to remineralize it. And in terms of filtering the water that comes out of your tap, the only one I've found is ProPure and Berkey water filters. I don't sell these things, folks. I could get in, I could get into that, and I could sell them, and I probably should, but I'm not here to sell water. Okay, I'm not even here to sell silver or sell the silver water I just mentioned. I'm just trying to support my show. I'm trying to support our team, and because of the time that we put in trying to get this message out. We got to stop drinking fluoridated water. We've got to stop drinking shitty food. Organic food goes in me, and very rarely will I go non-organic. And if I do, it's grass-fed. It's still top of the line. Vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C, multis. I drink Purium. I drink my greens. I get my green drink from Purium, which we offer. I get shakes with protein that strengthens my body. I take amino acids through Purium. Right? We must strengthen our minds, our bodies, and our souls. We pray every night on this show because this is a spiritual warfare that we are undergoing right now. And we must strengthen ourselves. We must strengthen each other. We must support each other. And we must win this war, because humanity, our lives depend upon it, because they're coming for us. And see, when I was telling people 15 years ago, they're coming for us. When I was telling people about the Georgia Guidestones, which Barbara Herron just figured out is 666 miles from the UN and looks just like the UN. When I was telling people about the Georgia Guidestones, they thought I was nuts. When I told them that they were coming for us, they thought I was being a conspiracy theorist. Even as early as 2.5 years ago, when they did the fake pandemic here in California with measles, and they took away our medical exemptions for childhood vaccines, and I said they're coming for us next. Many of you have seen that because I reposted it within the past couple of weeks, where I got drenched in the rain. And I was telling people 2.5 years ago, and they thought I was nuts, thought I was a conspiracy theorist. And here we are now. We did not heed the warning signs. We did not heed the harbingers of those warning signs. We did not listen to the Paul Revere's of the world, the William Coopers, the Jordan Maxwells, the so many, George Carlin. We did not heed these people, and here we are. Heed me now. heed us now. This is a turning point in human history. And we've never been more, it's never been so important to get this right. To sharpen our mind, sharpen our body, sharpen our souls for this battle. Ask ourselves, are we up for this task? If you want somebody to come along and save you, maybe you just best sit this one out. I'm serious. If you think somebody's going to come and save us, just go sit in a corner somewhere or go where you need to be. Just get out of the way, because what we need are warriors that are willing to show our God that we are going to stand up for ourselves, our family, and humanity with the genius, the brain, the heart, the soul that was given to us by our Creator. What are we doing with it? Do you really think our Creator wants us to sit on our thumbs and wait to be saved? Really? Is that your story? Because if that's your story, I would ask you to check your story at the coat check. You don't have to get rid of it. Just check it at the coat check. Check all your stories that get in the way of this message. Please just check them at the coat check. They're safe there. You can grab them on the way out. But check it, because it's not going to serve you in this interaction today. If your story is that you're going to be saved by someone or something or some being or some entity, then you're already mistaken. You've already lost. Because you're not calling upon yourself to do every single thing in your power with what you have right now. There's a thing in neurolinguistic programming where they say that we do the best we can in the time we have with what we have at our disposal. But we don't even realize the vastness of that ability, the vastness of our individual power and strength and resolve and resilience. We don't realize this. Once we realize this, then we realize that they can't have our hearts. They can't have our bodies. They can't have our children anymore. And we're going to do everything we have. You have no money? Pick up the phone. You have no car? Pick up the computer. Get online. Share with your family. Share with your friends. Beg them to just challenge the narrative they're being given to save their life. And do not move from that line that you have drawn for the protection of you, the protection of your family, the protection of humanity. Do not move from that line and stop these governments. Stop these politicians that are in the pockets of CCP and Soros and Clinton Foundation and Gates and all of these people who have betrayed humanity. We hold the line and we do not move from this position. And as a matter of fact, we move forward. Because I'll tell you something about these people that are making lists. Think about the people that are making lists of the vaccinated. I'm sorry, the unvaccinated, the unmasked, the businesses that are unwilling to force vaccinate or make sure that everyone's vaccinated. The doctors that are not towing the line of the narrative of this agenda. The doctors that are prescribing ivermectin, the pharmacies that are prescribing ivermectin, all the people in this situation are making lists of us all so that they can look at Australia, put us in camps, right? Separate us from those who have towed the line. But here's what they don't see. Everyone that's making those lists are making up our list. They are creating our list for us. Because our list will have an accountability not seen before in human history. Our list will be of people who have come for our children, not just now, but have been for generations. Our list will hold people accountable for not taking a stand when humanity needed them to do just that. And our list that they are busy making for us simply by making their list, our list won't be able to walk down the street. It's not a threat. You won't be able to walk down the street without being challenged, without being questioned, without being held accountable, without being sued, without being tried for crimes against humanity. You won't be able to walk down the street because we are entering into an age of accountability. Simply because we are entering into an age of accountability out of absolute need to save our humanity, to save ourselves. So we must hold people accountable. So go ahead and make your list, folks. Go ahead and make your list of the unvaxxed, of the doctors who are standing up and speaking out against this agenda, this genocide, the Mikoviches, the Malones, the Zelenkos, I'm forgetting one of the ones that I wanted to share. The Rubies, the Medej, one of my favorites for so long, Mercola, Dr. Mercola's. Go ahead and make your list and put them on the blacklist. Because the blacklist will be the new whitelist. Because your blacklist is our whitelist. And so go ahead and make your list. Go ahead and demonize those doctors. Go ahead and demonize the people that stand up for truth. Go ahead and demonize, Robert Kennedy Jr. for standing up with the Children's Health Defense Fund, the Children's Health Defense Network. Go ahead and demonize him. Oh yeah, he talks funny. He can't. He's weak. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Right, Gates? Isn't that what you said to Trump? That's a non-starter. What he was proposing to President Trump. And then he was discarded for the next 4 years. While you slipped in your agenda, which had been planned for many, many years. Go ahead and make your lists. Because you're making ours. And you won't be able to live on this planet again. You will be shamed. You will be deemed disgusting. You will lose your power. You will lose your influence. You will lose any credibility that you once had. Look at it already happening with the hospitals and the universities. What do you think of Johns Hopkins, folks? What did you think of him 2 years ago? What do you think of the World Health Organization, folks? What did you think of them 2, 3, 4 years ago? Did you think they were the good guys? How about the UN? Did you think the UN was a good organization, a peaceful organization? Huh? How about the Nobel Prize group? How about the Nobel, group that gave the man who bombed more human beings than any other president in history, gave him the Peace Award? How about all these groups? How about the Red Cross? What did you think about the Red Cross 2, 3, 4 years ago? What do you think of them now? What do you think of your local hospital 2, 3 years ago? What do you think of them now? What do you think of your doctor now compared to 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago? Your nurses? Do you see what's happening? Do you see that the greater our awareness and the greater... I got to come off of this, folks. But I enjoyed that. Thank you for all your comments. I wasn't able to see them, but I'll be able to see them later. And I wanted you to get a glimpse of what the comments look like across all the platforms that we're on. What do you think about all these people, all these institutions now? You see, the greater our awareness, the greater our intelligence, the more power we have. The greater our discernment, the more power we have over those who mean to do us harm. And you're seeing it firsthand. When before, all you saw was what they wanted you to see. Do you see how important it is for them to control the information that you see, hear, and read? So that they use you as a regurgitation out to the world. They use you as a little speaker. See, they get the information to humanity, and then humanity turns around and goes to a dinner party and starts spouting off exactly what they were programmed with. And it's those who see that reality now that are cutting off that information and seeking other information, which is why it's so important in this time of human history that we are so discerning about where we're getting this information, how we're getting this information, and unforgiving when we're being lied to. Because we've been down this road before. We've been down this road for a very long time. And as a result, we literally may lose half the population of this planet through our own ignorance. through our own complicity, through our own dollars that we've been pumping into pharmaceutical companies and health insurance and hospitals and doctors and media, cable packages, internet packages, subscriptions, going to the movie theater, watching Oscar parties, giving the Nielsen ratings of the Oscars through the roof, of all these pedophiles giving each other awards and edifying each other as beautiful people, so that we may continue to perpetuate their absolutely abhorrent and evil behavior. We have fed the cancer. We have fed the cancer, and the cancer must be starved. And we must nourish ourselves in only the best ways we can. This is very, very important. It is the most important thing that we can possibly do, is to raise our awareness and strengthen our resolve and sharpen our intellect. Because we must change the course of human history that we are presently on. Cheers. Yeah. I'll give you an example. The med bed rollout plan. Kathy, fuck the med beds. Okay? How many of you know for a fact that the med beds exist? How many of you know for a fact that they exist and they're going to change our human bodies? Every person that you're hearing about the med beds from is full of shit because they don't know anything about it. That's an example of the quantum financial system is coming. The Nisara Jasara is coming. The med beds are coming. Nobody's coming. Kathy, you know I love you. I'm not picking on you. Nobody's coming. Can we get that through our thick heads? Nobody's coming to save us. So stop eating like shit. Stop taking in shit. Stop putting up with shit. And start changing your life right the fuck now. Because no one's coming to save your ass. You must save your own ass. You must protect your own ass and that of your families. Fuck the med beds. Fuck the quantum financial system. Fuck the Nisara Jasara. Because anything that you're hoping will come and change your life will get you to do nothing in the moment. If you think they're coming, great. Just don't bring it here. Take it to the people that pretend to know what's going on. You can have that chat in those chat rooms, okay? The people that think they know what the hell's going to happen, go on. Go have those chats over there. Don't bring it in here. Do what we can now with what we have now. You want a med bed? Get a Healy. Is that self-serving? Yes. Do I believe in it? Yes. Have I heard countless testimonies that it has helped my friends and my family and people that have gotten involved? Yes. That's something you can do right now. And if you can't afford it, reach out and ask for us to do a remote healing on you. It's free. We'd be happy to do it. Cindy'd be happy to do it. Amy'd be happy to do it. I'd be happy to do it. It's very easy. But don't come talking to me about the rollout like these people know what the hell they're talking about. They don't. They don't. Do I believe that once you and I finally stand up and wake up to what we are capable of doing right now, that is going to change the course of human history? Yes, I do. Do I think talking about things that are to come is going to help us when we don't know if they're coming, or we don't even know if we're going to get there? If this medical system is controlling half of the population and getting us to fight against one another and is going to take over this whole situation, do you really think they're going to come out with med beds? Do you really think they're going to come out with all these technologies that were suppressed that are going to heal humanity? No, we have to do it. We have to make that happen. Do I think that technologies are going to be revealed once we take back our humanity, take back control over our humanity? Yes, I do, because I know they've been suppressed. But we have to do that first. And any anticipation of something coming to us will keep us from going towards it. And going towards it, we have to go through the cabal. We have to go through the Western medicine allopathic system. We have to plow through these sons of bitches, and we have to take what is ours. And we have to hold the line and say, no, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to play these fucking games anymore. Do I think that our currency will someday go to an asset-backed currency? Yes, I do. Why? Because the current financial system doesn't work for humanity. It doesn't work for humanity. So we have to change that. But we have to do it. We can't wait for it to come to us. We have to start getting involved in asset-backed currency and silver and gold. We have to start engaging in that and getting rid of fiat currency so inflation doesn't harm us. Is that self-serving? Yes. Am I involved in, Patriot Silver? Yes. Why do I do that? Because I know that that's going to help us. It's not something I'm saying that's self-serving. I was talking to you guys about gold and silver for years before I ever got involved with anything that could even potentially benefit me in return. And you know that. Do I think that there are things that are going to improve our lives immeasurably? Yes. Do I think they're going to be given to us? No. Nothing worthwhile was ever done without us putting in time and effort and focus to go get it. Yep, I still believe Q. I still trust the plan, but here's the thing. The plan involves us. Otherwise, they wouldn't have told us. Q let us in the huddle, and whether it's white hat or black hat operation doesn't matter. And I've been saying this for years. Why? Because they never got our guns. We have 180 million gun owners in the United States and over 300 million guns. They never got our guns, so guess what? They're not putting us on any fucking rail cars, okay? Not going to happen. Every single genocide in the history of the world was preceded by gun registration and confiscation, and I'm talking about since the advent of the gun. This is a game changer with how they snuck in this genocide through medicine, like they did in the 30s Germany. They snuck it in. And they couldn't have done it without the indoctrination, without absolutely lying to us through the media. And this is why I got off on this with the pro athletes and the musicians and the actors and all these people, the politicians, all the media, all the influencers on YouTube. I talked to one of the greatest influencers in the history of YouTube, Casey Neistat. I told him about my show. I told him that YouTube kicked me off, and he practically ran in the other direction. Why? Because he made a whole career. He made millions of dollars and now lives in one of the highest real estate value areas on the planet because of YouTube. And he's not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. He's not going to touch me with a 10-foot pole. He practically ran in the other direction. Why? Because, look at me. I don't have any money. I'm not getting rich. I'm not making money off this deal of any significance. I still rent. We have a one-car family. Yeah, I'm a month to month. This isn't like, and he's got millions. And so all these influencers on YouTube that are sitting down with Fauci and promoting these things, they're all part of the system, but we have to realize that we have to reach out and find out that all these other people are not helping us. If they're telling us things that can't be verified, that can't be empirically evidentially verified right in front of us. And the rest of it, it's just speculation. But when people talk about speculation as fact, that's when we need to run in the other direction. 1,120 people. I'm shutting down. I'm going to leave this as a standalone monologue. Share it if it spoke to you. Share this out, and I'm going to come back on and we'll do the news in a second segment. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was meaningful to you, and if so, share it with somebody you think could use it if you're called to. And I'll see you a little bit. We'll come back in the room. So give me about 5 minutes and then come back in if you will. All right. Love you.